So guys, something slightly different for this video. We're actually voiceovering after filming. So we have filmed this entire video lure fishing on the canal with Matt and Steve, who you'll see in the background of this video. Matt gave some pretty sound tips, so I'm kind of gutted I couldn't isolate just my vocal and obviously voice over this afterwards. But one tip he gave me, we are fishing micro jigs, nano jigs. So we're on little 1 gram jigs on Polaris worms, which again can be found linked in the description. So we're after perch, but on little jigs like these you can catch perch, you can catch roach. And this was a particularly slippery customer. He still had plenty of energy when I got him to the bank, so kind of hard to unhook him and worry about the spikes and spines that we've got on them. But yeah, you've just seen the little motor oil Polaris worm, so that's what I started on today. We do eventually swap over to the white Polaris worm, which is an incredible bait. But the tip he gave was basically just let the lure sink a little bit, about a foot off the bottom, just away from those reeds, and work it back nice and slow, and you can see the effectiveness of that tip. So he came off unfortunately, but these little whippy rods, it is amazing when you catch even the smallest of perch. Again, rod linked in description. So if you want to grab any of this gear, head down to the description. They are affiliate links, so this channel does benefit and we get a small affiliate kickback. I've got another video from today, from this exact day, which is about 40 odd minutes long. But I didn't want to put all of the footage together in just one clip, but you can see how I'm working the rod, just tiny little lifts and pauses, tiny taps, and it just gets that lure just to work like a small worm. So really good bait if you're fishing for perch, small fish, you're after just sort of numbers of fish. And it's a really effective way of fishing. Another thing we were doing today was actually filming in loop recording, which allowed us to get it allowed us to just film 1 minute clip it. So if I caught a fish, I could save the clip. But the water in the morning was crystal clear. You can see the reeds there in the edge, and I've not even got a polarizing filter on the camera. I had polarizing glasses on and it was even more visible. You could see right to the bottom. Steve's just putting one back there in the background with Bobby. So Bobby, Steve's dog, best fishing companion you can have. He just seems to know what lure's going to catch. So if you need any tips, the sheepdog is the way to go. So we do get a boat come through as well in this video. So we get quite a large boat coming through the swim. And it helps the fishing quite a lot. It just colours the water up a tiny bit. Really unusually though, the boat that came through first was a electric boat. Nice light clutches as well. Small fish, you don't want to risk ripping the mouth on the lures or pulling 3 of them. So Steve's just had one there, he's come off. But what I've just done, if I'd have kept the vocals in, we're basically in a shoal there. So he's just got one and there was loads of perch chasing it. So why does perch chasing? Whack your lure in a similar spot and just see if you can get one of the chasing fish. When there's a few here, it's easy to catch these fish because as soon as a few start chasing, once one's hooked, they tend to follow. So if they're following, get your lure in front of the face and see if you can catch. It was really peaceful today actually, such a peaceful morning. And my whole tackle box actually fit in my pocket. Because the nano jigs, you don't need a lot of stuff, you just need the bare essentials. So you could have basically the bare amount of kit and you end up with a really good day's fishing. So I've just missed one. Pretty gutted about that, you can probably hear it from my voice. Proper devastated. I ended up having a load of perch today. We fished for a numerous number of hours, and it just kept going. The action just kept coming and coming and coming. So really, really good day, really fun, and we ended up catching a hell of a lot of fish. Like I say, just walking down to Matt here. I think Matt was on the same sort of thing, Polaris. He's just pointing out the shoulder of a green or a pike. We did have a couple of pike today. I pulled my lure out from in front of them because the water was that clear you could see them, and I didn't have a trace on because I'm fishing with these little jigs. And the boat's coming in any second. There you go. There he is. So we don't have one on that first chuck. We have a couple of follows. But now that boat just coming through, it moves the water a little bit, and it made it so much easier. Here's a nice little perch. And on that whippy little rod, again linked in description. Strongly recommend it. I'd advise it for anyone. Little nano jig rod, they're amazing for perch of that size because they put a really good bend in the rod. I'm frantically there trying to get the jig out of its mouth because I want to get back as soon as possible, get back in the water and try and catch another fish. So just untangling that rod tip, the rod being so fine. If you're casting out and you're tangled, again 1 gram jigs all the way across to the far side of that canal, so straight across to the other side of the bank on a little tiny 1 gram jig head. Pretty awesome way to fish, to be honest with you. Like, it was so fun to catch just on a little Polaris worm. Small box of jigs, you don't need a lot of kit for it, but it was dead easy to actually go out and catch these fish. So moving a little bit further down the bank now, you'll notice Matt stood next to me. He, at this stage, I think, is on an Eco Gear Grass Minnow in pearlescent white. I'm on, I believe, a white Polaris worm, which until today I hadn't actually caught on. I didn't have much confidence in that bait. But in the water, it just looks like a proper natural maggot or worm. It just looks incredible. So heading down, you'll notice in the edge there's some corrugated ironwork. That is insanely good for perch. So anything that's corrugated iron, anything like structure-wise that they can hide in, they tend to do really, really well. So Bob's just having a look in the water there, just spotting a couple of fish for us. I noticed when we were with Steve and Bob, when he spots fish, he actually sort of looks at them. Like he'll stand at the edge and physically stare at the fish, which is awesome. A lot of helicopter and plane traffic as well here today. It's Matt Tip. He was getting loads of bites on that little paddle tail, but they kept coming off. Sometimes the perch are that small, they just come off the hook. Right, the canal, I thought I was in there, but I'm not. I was in some reeds. So, fishing towards the reeds, obviously clear weather, clear water sort of thing, that's where the perch are going to be sat. They're going to be sat in those clear, like in the reeds, sat in some shade, sat in some structure. They're not going to be sat in open water because there's no sort of hiding points for them. So just a little underarm flick because I just missed a nice perch. Not massive, but bigger than what I've been catching so far that day. So one thing I'm trying to do as well is get used to more BFS style setups. So we've actually got a BFS rod and bait cast reel. So I am trying to get used to that, but it's one of those of you're trying to cast a 1 gram jig all the way to the other side of the canal on a BFS reel without it backlashing is kind of a challenge. So with this little nano jig rod, it's so easy just to cast it. I could have maybe took my my crankbait rod or my BFS rod and used some little twitch baits, some little cranks, just try and steer these fish up a little bit. But we were actually catching a shocking amount of fish. This footage doesn't really show us catching loads, but over the course of like 6-7 hours, we managed to get quite a few. Some nice decent sized perch as well. I think next time I am going to actually travel with me mat, with me measure mat, and just get the rough average size. So, bit of a tricky water, with it being so clear. It was hard to get the bites, but once you were on some fish, the bites were just coming thick and fast. And great day out with Matt and Steve, caught plenty of fish. So, if you like this video guys, if you like this method of recording as well, like recording and then voiceovering it afterwards, I'll keep doing it. So stick around guys. Hit that like button, ding dong the notification bell, subscribe, and I will see you in our very next video. So take it easy guys, and bye for now.